As an entrepreneur, uh, an indie published author of two novels with more to come, and someone who trains annually for endurance events, aka as someone who is super goal oriented, I know a thing or two about staying motivated and being able to accomplish all of the great things that we want to accomplish when it comes to our lives and our career. So, if you want to learn the tips and tricks to staying motivated, then stay tuned. Hi, my name is Sara, and I'm a certified career and leadership coach. And I help people find the dream jobs where they work less, make more money, and finally feel happy and fulfilled doing work that they love. I am also a published author of two romance novels, Feels Like Home and I Like Me Better, with more to come. I'm hoping my third book comes out this fall, and there are more in the pipeline as well. And I have lots of other goals in my life, and I have two kids who are busy, and I spend lots of time with my husband. So, how do I do it all? How do I stay motivated to actually stick with my career goals? And I think my writing is a very good example, because when we are going through a career change or we are looking for a new job while we're working, it can be very challenging to stay motivated when we could just give up. Like, you can just not do the career change. You can just stay in your okay, not great job. So when we need these sort of tips and tricks to stay motivated, that's when it really counts. That's when it's something we really need to learn what they are. So that's what I want to dive into today. Now, I like to cover all aspects of dream jobs and what it takes to get them and land them and keep them, and motivation is one of them. But if you want all of the tips and tricks, then hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of my new videos. Also, head to my channel page so you could get a deep dive into any specific area. So if you're doing a career change, I have a playlist for you. If you want a new job, a playlist for you. If you got an interview, a playlist for you. So go check that out as well. Okay, so staying motivated. There are three main tips that I feel like are the secrets to my success of juggling my desire to do things with my desire to sit and watch Netflix or do nothing. The first is having a hard why. We need to know why we want to do this, and it needs to feel compelling enough to have us decide more days than not to do the work required to accomplish said goal, versus binge and watch Netflix on the couch with a box of cookies or a bag of cheesies, whatever it is. So we need to have that why that kind of gets us going. So sometimes we can start with a negative motivation, a fear-based, or something we're trying to get away from. So that could be we're trying to get away from a bad boss, or we're trying to get away from a career we don't like. That can be a starting point to motivation, but we do need something more compelling than that. From psychological research and studies, we do know that negative motivation is a flash in the pan motivation, meaning it doesn't propel us to usually finish a goal. And we see this a lot with weight loss is a common research study that we use, but we also see it in employment and organizational psychology, where fear of losing a job doesn't actually motivate employees. It may have a little burst of motivation and then that peters off. And there are a lot of scientific reasons for this. I won't go into it all, but while that can be the start, we still need to continue to look for the positive motivation. So that is when we are moving towards something we want. So maybe we want an organization that's more supportive versus we're running away from a bad boss, or we want an organization that values its employees financially instead of running away from bad pay. So kind of skewing it in that sort of sense. It's a positive. We're moving towards something that's going to benefit our life. So I would highly recommend thinking about it from that positive motivation point of view. And then we need to like dig in. Like that's just the start of the why. So let's say you want more pay. Like you're not getting enough pay, and that's something you want to move towards to is more money. And to make it this hard, compelling why is then we picture our life with that more money, like what you could buy with it, the ease with which you could fall asleep when it comes time to paying bills or your monthly mortgage payment, or if you have kids and you aren't able to sign them up for certain things, or it's the reduction of consumer debt or a mortgage debt, or like think about how that more money could benefit your life. And then that is so much more of a compelling why than just a random, I would like to make more money. So I making it that hard why so that you can, when you don't want to do things, when you don't want to do the job search, because no one really wants to do a job search after a day of work or before a day of work, when you have that hard why compelling you, like it is easier to show up to do the work more days than not. Of course, there's going to be days when you just don't, and that's fine. We don't make that a problem. Okay. Tip number 2 is create a routine. So this is like making structured routines is definitely one of my superpowers because I am a very structured person. I love me some structure. So I love to create routines and habits. And I think it's really the way that it becomes easier. And it takes away some of the questions and the decisions that you need to make in order to do it. So, for example, if we are hanging around on the weekend and we don't have much planned, and the kids want to go outside and play with the neighborhood kids, because our kids do that quite a bit, and my husband wants to have a second cup of coffee and relax or sit outside, I have my second cup of coffee and I write. And I don't have to make the decision. That's just what I do. That's what everyone else is doing. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. Having decisions made for me was like, it's so much easier. I don't have to decide to write. I don't have to think about, do I feel like writing? I was just like, okay, I'm just going to do it because that is the routine. It's also how I would approach doing things around the workday is like with exercise. This is just when I do it. I don't actually question it. And actually, it's not to say I don't question it, because there are a lot of times when it's time to write or it's time to exercise. And the entire time leading up to it, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I really want to do this. Maybe I should do something else. But I'm still just getting ready to do it because it's just time to do it. So that routine helps lead to habit forming, and it helps reduce the decision making that's going to lead to us not doing it. So then we just do it. I do have one where I talk more about the time management piece. So if you wanted to go watch that. And then the third tip is to lean on determination. So determination is a magical feeling. Motivation is not a magical feeling. It feels magical because we're like so excited. Like that's the thing. Motivation is exciting. Determination is not exciting. Determination is a much more grounded feeling. Motivation is a much more elevating feeling. But motivation doesn't always come. Usually, because it's an exciting feeling, we usually have to be in a good mood to get motivated. So that isn't always possible. So sometimes we need to lean into determination. Like I'm not motivated to look for a new job today, but I'm determined to make more money so that I can benefit my family in these ways. Where having that hard why really helps. It's also where having that routine really helps. Because on those days where I was talking about where I'm trying to talk myself out of it the entire time, I have no motivation. but my routine makes it easy. So I don't have to make the decision not to do it because the decision's been already made to do it. I can try and talk myself out of it all I want. And that routine really leans onto that determination. Like, so I'm just determined. Even though I don't want to do it, I'm still just going to do it. So that leaning and learning how to lean on that determination is so key for staying motivated. So my 3 tips to stay motivated no matter what is have a hard why, know why you're doing this, know why you want this, to create a routine, create some habits on when and how you're going to do it, and then lean on determination, not on motivation. So let me know in the comments below which one you're going to do and why you want a new job, a new career, that promotion, whatever it is. Drop that hard why in the comments, because if you write it down, it becomes more real and it makes it easier for the rest to happen. Okay, I'll see you next week. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss it. Take care. Bye. If you liked this video, then I invite you to join me in the Find Your Dream Job program, where you work less, make more money, and finally feel fulfilled doing work that you love. Find out more at www.saracurto.ca/CYLA. See you there.